Okay, so we're gonna hit some solar related questions here every day. There's always a million of them out there. They're all very common. We run into a lot of the same questions. So if we can put those out on video and maybe help people get there, that I think that could be useful. So the most common question I get, especially from people that know me, that are my friends, that are looking for a very honest opinion, is quite simple. It's, is solar worth it? And nobody likes my answer. Um, I would love to give that simple answer that is going to inspire more sales, but I want to be honest with this. It really depends. It really depends. And quite often that is the opposite of what you hear from a lot of solar salespeople. You'll hear, oh, of course. Of course it's going to save you money. Why is it so unsure? Why don't you know when? Why would you ask that? Why would somebody not be able to give you a clear answer? It's pretty simple, okay? So every home has different roof angles as far as pitch, as well as faces different angles, right? As far as north, south, east, west, different azimuths is really the correct term. Those are critical to how much energy you can produce with a typical 400, 450 watt panel. So it's important to get a design done that, your house is modeled out. It reflects how much solar radiance is going to hit and how much is going to be absorbed, right? Like the modeling software is very impressive these days. It gets more accurate every year. You should expect it to be correct within 2% as long as your solar contractor isn't, let's just say, manipulating the numbers. That's something to watch for. So that's a factor, right? As far as what your house is, where your house is located, right? Edmonton isn't going to get as much solar radiance as Calgary. Calgary is not going to get as much solar radiance as Lethbridge, or even Medicine Hat, right? Like these are very sunny cities, but Alberta in general gets a lot of sun. It's a great place for solar. And then there's other factors like Calgary gets Chinooks in the winter, which clears off some of that snow from time to time, which will help you produce a little bit more. And obviously, you're not going to produce a lot in the winter regardless, but it is a factor. Other important factors are, quite simply, how much you're going to pay for your system. And this is where I always suggest people get a few quotes. Sure, I want to sell you a solar array. I want to help you out. I want to be your provider and give you a quality system. But the truth of it is if your solar installer cares, you can get a quality system, right? Like most of the products on the market, whether they be Longi, Thornova, JA Solar, like production and quality is all very similar right now. And the price that the installers are paying is very similar. Okay. Now your microinverter or string inverters might vary a little bit, but it's not going to be huge. But your price, that will have a huge variance on the market right now. If you have a good sized system, somebody might be willing to do it for $2 a watt. But you will also see $6 a watt. Now that might be in more remote locations, or that might just be a very predatory salesperson, predatory solar contractor. I often get the question back when they say, well, they say they're just going to do a premium install. Well, if you're paying for an investment, because that's what solar is for you, right? If you care about the environment, that's great. But this is an investment and it should be looked at as such when you're making it. If you're going to pay 3 times the price, or even 50% more, going from $2 to $3 a watt, that is going to be a large difference in recouping that money, that investment. So it's important to get a fair price. It's important to get quality products, of course. But if you were to, for example, get 3 or 4 quotes, and one of them really just, they market well, they sell themselves well, but they're another 50, 60, 80 cents per watt. And they have a product that they've convinced you is better than their competitors. Go to your competitors, their competitors, and say, can I get this product too? Because there's a really good chance, not everybody does it, but they have that product available to them. There's a really good chance, right? There's only so many suppliers of solar on the market. So there's a really good chance they can get you something very similar, if not the same, for the same price they quoted. Right? Like some companies want to upsell on different things, but that's a big factor. So when we're talking about does solar make sense for you, price is a big factor. Your location is a big factor, like as in geographical, and your house's general layout and direction is a big factor. This is why a solar installer will ask you for a recent energy bill, so that they can take that information, they can put it in the software. And most people are using Aurora. Not everybody's using Aurora, but there's other good software out there. And that kind of brings me to my last point. If most people that do solar are going to be on the solar club, because the solar club allows you to sell back that extra energy in the summer at 30 cents a kilowatt hour, and then basically in the low periods in the winter, whatnot, you're going to be at 8.5 cents. So if you are somebody that consumes very little energy in the summer and a lot in the winter, you're going to be more greatly incentivized. You're going to get more out of solar than maybe your neighbor that has an air conditioner and a hot tub, let's say, running all summer. So they're almost like flat, right? Where the average house we would look at is going to be higher in the winter, come down in the summer, and back up in the winter, right? And solar is the exact opposite. So the more of that bell curve that can apply above your consumption, the more you can get out of it. Okay? So I hope that helps. Get at least 3 quotes, ask lots of questions. Feel free to reach out, and keep an eye for some of our ticket giveaways. Have a great day.